gonna cap things off here with none other than our tips. Like I said, I had a pretty good round last time. If Donnie's Swans didn't want to mess it up for me, I forgive you nonetheless. But another round, another.
Yeah, I don't have control over that one.
What do you mean? You're a fan. You can yell through the TV.
It's an iPad, and it's one of those I've noticed whenever I get confident against a good team with Sydney, that's always when it backfires. It's always when I reverse psychology and I tip against them. It's usually when they win.
See, I just have fake confidence in GWS every round, so it's all the same to me. Oh boy, we'll see how I tipped in this round. But let's get it going. Round 4, we're going to get started off with a couple. What could be great games, probably just only one of them though, and that is going to be Port Adelaide and the Melbourne Demons. We got 92% of fans taking the D's on this one. I am with them. Donnie, what about yourself?
I am also with them. I don't like the mojo of Port. And I listened to a podcast out of South Australia, and they are offering 2-for-1 tickets to try to get as many people to the game because the fans are that
not bad
upset that they're worried of not getting a good crowd out there. And I think that is the worst possible mojo you could have against what arguably is the best team in the competition this year. I got the D's, and I think the D's win this big. I think this could be a 3 or 4 goal win.
Now, the next game is to me one of the biggest question mark games, and to me this is the most interesting game of the round. That's the Geelong Cats and the Brisbane Lions in this one, because two teams have a lot to prove in this one, and there's a lot of takeaways you might be able to grab from this one as well. We got 58% of tippers taking the Geelong Cats at GMHBA. They're, like you said, they're always tough. This is a hard one to play, just like playing over in Optus. Are you siding with them? Because I am going to be taking the majority on this one as well.
I'm going to go Brisbane, actually. I'm one of those that I like the mojo the way Brisbane's playing. Geelong has been inconsistent.
Yeah.
And I don't like that against a team that's playing really, really good footy. I don't think GMHBA is going to be as big an advantage this year. Again, last year was a close game that came down to what many people say is the controversial call that cost Brisbane a win down there with the non-holding the ball call, which I then proceeded to use when there was a controversial call that went Sydney's way. I said the karma train went the other way this time. So Geelong fans, I'm sorry, but that's the truth. I'm gonna tip Brisbane on this just because I like Brisbane's mojo a lot more. I think their midfield can neutralize Dangerfield enough. I think they'll be fine. Barry did such a good job tagging Zach Merritt against Essendon, and I think he's gonna get the danger tag here. I just like Brisbane. I think Brisbane's playing better. I think there's just so many weapons. I'm not sure if Geelong's going to be able to get that rebounding intercept marking game that they're really good at going. So I'm going to tip Brisbane in this one.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. There's definitely it's definitely a toss up in this one. If you take a look, Geelong has been able to make some good statements. Obviously, they look great against Essendon, and they lose a tough one against Sydney. And then also they go and they have a great comeback win. They show a lot of grit and a lot of, Aussies like to use this word a lot, bravery. They like the word brave a lot. Well, I'm not going to say they like a lot. They use it more than we do, at least. So I guess that's one thing I've noticed for you guys. Let me know if I'm off base on that or not. But I really like what I'm seeing from the Cats. But also, like I said earlier, the Brisbane Lions have been maybe not the best competition, but they haven't let that slow them down. They still look fan-freaking-tastic. So this one really could go either way. The odds are also in Geelong's favor. They're at $1.78. Brisbane 203. So if you're wanting to bet an underdog tip, that is definitely mine for this round. I would put some money on Brisbane, even though technically, like I already said, I cannot. And also speaking about underdogs, sweet damn Donnie, this might be the biggest odds margin I have ever seen while watching footy, because we got the Sydney Swans at $1.06 and their opponents, the North Melbourne Roos, at $9.30. Who and 99% of the world is taking the Swans. I want to talk to the 1% of North and just to make sure everything's going on. Everything's okay at home because, ooh, I don't know about this one. Or maybe everything is okay and they're just some really diehard Roos fans that I can also respect that. But Sydney.
I'm tipping Sydney in this one, and if I'm North, I'm trembling a little bit because this is a Sydney team that if I'm them, John Horst Longmire just probably read them the riot act after some of the lackluster abilities towards the footy against the Western Bulldogs. I think Sydney comes out inspired. They're at home. I almost look at this and go, could this be a potential for Buddy to kick an 8, a 10, a 12 pack on North if they cannot shut him down?
Yes.
This could be a very long game for Sydney. And I don't normally like calling blowouts, but this one could get ugly quickly if it goes the right way. The only interesting question will be is, how does Peter Laddams come into the Sydney team after Hickey comes out? Does he make a big impact? Because there's some people saying that he comes in the perfect opportunity game here because he comes in with a good chance of getting a lot of touches on the footy against a less than impressive North Melbourne side, that this could literally be kind of the jump start for Laddams to kind of have a season like Hickey did last year, with Hickey being out at least 6 to 8 weeks. So, yeah, I have Sydney in this one. I'm hoping North can keep this competitive. I'm just worried this gets out of hand quickly.
Oh, yeah. Early on last season, we saw the Doggies, and more specifically Josh Bruce, put up 10 against the North Melbourne Roos. Let's see if maybe Buddy could have his own version of a little Brucey action and see if, essentially we get the same game with a different opponent for the Roos in a different season. The next one, too, might also have the chances to be a blowout. I mean, the next couple actually might have the chances to be a blowout. We got Collingwood and the West Coast Eagles, 96% of tippers with the Magpies. I am with that percentage as well. Does West Coast have a chance in this one?
I'm going to say this. My tip is Collingwood, but I'm gonna put this out there, and I've said this in a few podcasts. This is a sneaky, scary game for me because this is one of those, everybody's telling Collingwood, you're going to win this game. You should beat the Eagles. You should beat the Eagles. The Eagles are getting quality players back from health and safety protocols and from some of the injuries. This is not the ugly West Coast Eagles team I think a lot of people are expecting. Now, if you go off their performance against Freo, kind of contradicts you because they did not play well against Fremantle. Fremantle, I mean, literally took a silver platter, grabbed their rear end, put it on him, and handed it to them. I mean, that's literally the way we could go on that one. I'm one of those. This is the scary opponent. This is the scary opponent for Collingwood because you're coming off a loss. How does your young Magpies team handle? And a team that's got some quality coming over with a chance. I mean, there's nothing to lose here in this situation because nobody's expecting him to win. So this is a scary game potentially for him. I'm tipping Collingwood, but I'm scared a little bit game because this is one of those that could, if there's an upset that wouldn't shock me, that's one of them.
I feel you, and that's definitely a good kind of call out right there. Another one, this game might be worrying for a lot of you Tigers fans because this has the chances to possibly, I don't want to say it will be, but has the chances to put the nail in the coffin on the proverbial, dynasty, or at least in terms of, in all the media's minds, it definitely can. They're taking on the Western Bulldogs. Doggies, 85% of the tips. How are we feeling for this one?
I've got the Doggies, but I can almost rewind back
Same
and
thing.
replay it again because this is another one. The only difference is that there's not quality coming in, but Richmond's just a team that they're pesky. Like as soon as you think they're done, they find a way to sit up like the Undertaker and come back with this incredible performance. So I'm gonna tip the Doggies, but I think this one is sneaky competitive. I think this one's sneaky close. If Dusty was in this, I would lean a little bit more towards Richmond, but because Dusty's not there, like I said, I like the way Bont is playing. I think he's still got a little niggle on him. This could be a game you could kind of rest him a little bit if you play well. But I'm going to tip the Doggies, but this could be a competitive game a lot more than some people are thinking.
Now, I'm hoping this next game is at the least competitive, and that is Frio and the GWS Giants in Optus Stadium. This is one where I probably should be tipping Frio. I'm still going to go with GWS. I'm loyal to a fault, apparently. And tell me that GWS has a chance in this one.
Again, this is a Frio team that has issues sometimes kicking goals. I bounced back and forth with this one a couple of times. It's the travel to Optus Stadium that would bother me because
That
again,
gets me.
Frio is a much better team at home. Like that's like the only reason. Like if this game was played at Giant Stadium, I'd be tipping the Giants. I'm tipping Frio because again, Frio at home plays better footy at home,
Yep.
as we saw against the West Coast Eagles. Taberner's back, so they've got a few more goal snakes. They've got a few more goal kickers. Again, I think it's a little bit also. I think that West Coast Eagles defense was not exactly airtight. I think GWS is a little bit better. Again, no Phil Davis. We'll have to see how Sam Taylor and Cummings and Whitfield kind of how they handle it.
I'm not too super worried about that back line
because it's one of those. Yeah, I think they've played really well. My issue is who takes Taberner and how does that handle? Is Michael Walters start get going? Because who do you put on there? Do you put DeBoer in and put him on Walters? We'll have to see. So I'm going to tip Frio, but this is another one. This could come down late in the game because GWS has got the talent to win this game. The question is, can they overcome Optus Frio? Shall we say?
That's a good point, man. Sweet. Oh, wish I were playing Giant Stadium. But what you going to do about it? This next one, I'm actually pretty surprised by this. The tipping percentages for everyone. It's Eston in the Crows. Tippers are taking 81% of them are taking Eston in this one. 19% to the Crows, of course. I'm kind of torn on this one, but I do think Eston gets their first win of the year.
See, and for me, there's just something about Essendon that's not right, and the fact that Ratton, their coach, is not going to be in this game. He's a close contact, so he is not able to coach or to actually be their assistant coach coaching this game. I'm not sure if you had heard that. I found that out this morning.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go Adelaide. I think they got a lot of momentum off that first one. My only concern with this tip is the prototypical the lull after a big win.
Yeah.
Sometimes can affect you in the next game. Like that's the only thing that's making me a little hesitant. But I think this is a young Crows team. You do get text back. You get a little bit of the text bump, which I think might be a good thing. So I'm going to tip the Crows in this one in a little bit of an upset. Again, I've always loved the Bombers, but there's just something not right about the Bombers game this year. And I think this is where it gets blown right open. I think the Crows get this one done.
I definitely wouldn't be surprised if the Crows win this one either. It's just hard to have. Well, going into round 3, I didn't have much confidence in the Crows. A win over Port Adelaide in the way they did in the showdown is going to give you a little bit of a better feeling about them. And Essen just has not a whole lot going for them at the moment. So it's and this is a tough one. That's why I was pretty surprised that it wasn't a little bit close to 50-50 split. Kind of like the next one is between Hawthorn and St. Kilda, 55% with St. Kilda. The odds also show a pretty close discrepancy as well. For whatever reason, I've been tipping the Saints this year, and it's been working. So I'm just going to send it.
Wow, and the funny thing is the tipping competition that I have has it dead 50-50. It is 50-50 for this Hawthorn St. Kilda game, and I think this is literally a coin toss game. I'm going to go Hawthorn on this one. I've liked Hawthorn's game. I think they played really well. I think they kind of know that they can't let Ben King get loose in the fourth quarter because that's what's kind of gotten some teams. And just I'm liking the mojo. I'm liking the mojo of Hawthorn right now. I think St. Kilda has had to rely on comebacks, and Hawthorn had a comeback happen. Kind of did a comeback themselves. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm gonna tip Hawthorn in this one. MCG, we'll really have to see. I think Hawthorn's playing pretty good footy. This is a fascinating one. This could be the barn burner of the entire. This could be the game of the round, which is really crazy to think. After last year, with both St. Kilda and Hawthorn being bottom 8 teams, that this could be game of the round. It's absolutely fascinating on that one. So tip Hawthorn, but this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, and now a bit of a palate cleanser because the last 3 games have been pretty tough to tip. This last one, it's definitely easier. 93% going with Carlton against the Gold Coast Suns. I think they're right.
I'm going to go Carlton in this one. I did not like the way Gold Coast handled this last game.
I did.
I think if Carlton comes out and gives if Carlton comes out and gives the effort that they had the last previous weeks, they just have way too much talent, way too much structure not to win this game. But this is the proverbial trap game that I always kind of circle, and
Yes,
I go, when you're expected to win and you're expected to win big, these are the ones where I think the D's were expected to be Gold Coast, and Gold Coast gave them one heck of a fight. So I circle this one as Carlton should win this one, but keep an eye on it because
You're right.
Gold Coast has the ability to put some fear into some teams. So
Yeah,
that's Carlton, but this will be a good one.
This definitely has the potential to be a blowout. I don't think it will. I think I kind of similar to last round, Gold Coast and GWS. Yes, it was a solid win by the Giants, but it wasn't necessarily a blowout. Gold Coast seems to be one of those teams that's just really naggy, and you can never fully put them away until that final siren sounds. But if Carlton just keeps up half of what they've been doing so far this year, same word for Crippa, they should be able to win this game. Might not be in the blowout, might not be in the prettiest way, but they should stay 4-0 on the season, unless something crazy happens.
Yeah, it'll be quite interesting to see how this goes. Again, it's can Michael Voss keep this team focused? Because it's very easy in a game like this to get ahead of yourself, to go, okay, well, we've got this one, we should win this one, and to kind of lull it. Like I said, the D's fell for it. The D's got lulled into that game against the Gold Coast, and they won it, but they sure made it much closer than it probably should have been.
I think that's pretty damn accurate.